What's going on YouTube? I'm the Big Dog and today welcome to a Windows 10 review. So I've been using Windows 10 now for a few months on and off altogether. When it first came out I started using Windows 10 and I did have some issues with it, mainly graphics related issues. I felt that performance was not as good as 7, so I went back to 7 for a little while, and then some people told me that 10 had been upgraded and they'd sorted it out, that it's come out of preview stage and it's now released for the public and it was a lot better. So I thought I'll download it again, did the same thing again, downloaded it, all installed nice and smoothly. The install process is really good for Windows 10 actually, I must say. That's probably one of the best, one of its greatest features is the way it installs. A couple of restarts while it's installed and it's done. You literally load up onto the screen that you can see here. Pretty much this has all been changed. This is normally a little bit bigger, so it's sort of like that. There's a couple more apps on here that I've taken off and customised myself, which we'll get into in a little bit. Some customization features of everything. But other than that, the install process was really easy. Anyone can pretty much do it. In fact, my dad even upgraded to Windows 10 before I did, going out and buying a new laptop, which came with Windows 10 on it. It was really good. So everyone, I've upgraded, and most of my friends I know have upgraded now as well finally. And it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. There's a few little things that Windows Microsoft didn't really need to put in. We'll get into them in a little while. But yeah, generally it's not too sad. So let's take a little look inside Windows now. So one of the first new features, a lot of my stuff's disabled down here, so let me just turn some stuff on quickly. Is Cortana. So Cortana is a huge new feature in Windows 10. Cortana is pretty much like your personal assistant basically. It can do everything from searching the web to searching your local documents to searching your OneDrive, to help you find stuff a lot easier. For example, like if I tell, I'm not going to tell her, but I've just typed foo in and it already comes up with one of my most used apps, Foobar 2000, which is of course my music app. And there you have it. You can see there. Oh, it's loaded on the other screen. Foobar's loaded in straight away, no problems. All my music's there. Brilliant, lovely. So that's one thing. You can also talk to Cortana. At the moment I do not have this feature enabled because I don't really use Cortana a lot. I'm more of a power user as a gamer. This review is more for gamers, gamer based. Obviously if you're a standard user, you're more than welcome to sit and listen to this review as well. But this is more aimed at gamers. So straight away I've disabled Cortana. I don't really use it, so I just hide Cortana out my way. You can do that by going to right clicking on the taskbar, going to Cortana and clicking on hidden. I've also hid the task view button, which is this one, which I haven't got any apps on my middle screen at the moment, so that's not going to work. Let's stick some apps on here for a second. Let's open it up like that. Let's open a web browser on there as well, just so you guys can see sort of what's going on. There we go. Right, so snapping is really good when it wants to work for me. Sometimes it doesn't. So right, as you can see, I've got a few apps on the screen now. So this is the task manager sort of. It's the task manager button. So you've got, these are the apps I'm running on this monitor that you guys can see. I have a separate monitor to my left and to my right, which you guys cannot see on the capture. Which has got a couple of bits on it for me to read off of, some notes and stuff. But yeah, so this is a really good way to quickly snap to another desktop, especially if you're using a laptop. It's a good way to see everything you've got open and quickly navigate to stuff really easily and bring it right to the front so you can see it first time. There's two ways you can access this through. At the bottom obviously with this little icon here, if you've got it turned on through this, I don't normally have mine on. The other way to access it is by holding Windows and pressing Tab, and this also opens this up. You can open up a new desktop. So say you've got well, you don't need too much RAM for this, but it does help. Obviously the more RAM the better. So as you can see at the bottom now, I've opened a separate desktop. There's nothing on this desktop at all. Just quickly open some things on it for you. So, and it's just switch back to the other desktop because FooBar's already open on there. So let's just, so now you can sort of see you got two separate desktop instances going on, and that is really handy for multitasking, I must say. Really good. Not something I use too much myself as a power user. It's actually something I've not temporarily disabled, but it's set to manual enable, so it only enables when I actually need to use it. So that is just enabled now when I've clicked on it. Until then it doesn't need to be on, so that's just turned itself off again now. So there's no need for that to be on really all the time, especially as a power user if you're gaming. I can actually find sometimes I use my push talk as an alternate, and sometimes I'll push alternate while looking at tab, and it can alt tab out, and also Windows can also do the same thing. It can Windows tab out to this, and it's really annoying. So it's one thing I do disable quite a lot. Okay, so moving on. Right, customization and stuff. So the first thing I noticed in Windows is the start bars come back. Windows 8, 8.1 was good, but it was a kind of a fail for Microsoft. The 10 is where they tried to resolve everything and make it all work better again, and make 10 their new main operating system across desktops, across tablets and phone devices and everything. Basically, this is what Microsoft wanted to achieve: an OS that can be used across multiple platforms, including even their Xbox One. So that's definitely something. So the customizability of Windows is just it's crazy how much you can customize in Windows now. Pretty much everything is customizable, right down to the color schemes, to the backdrop of this, the transparency of everything. Your windows, if you want it to still look like XP, like I've got over here on my, I don't like all the fancy desktop stuff. It does my head in. It's all really customizable. I can't remember the name of it now. It's disappeared from my head. Personalization. That's what we wanted. So you've still got your normal personalisation stuff with your desktop wallpapers, your colour schemes, your sounds, your screensavers and stuff like that. Still got your high contrast themes in. There is one theme that's not in here anymore, that I will do another video on how to activate that. That is the old like XP theme. It's not on here no more. There is a way to get it back. I'll show you how to do that in another video, guys. I'm not going to show you it now. But yeah, that's one thing. So you've got lots of, there's loads of other little things you can do as well, obviously. Oh, going in the wrong place here. Yeah, I've definitely gone in the wrong place here. Right, so right clicking on the Windows icon in the bottom left hand corner here will open up a completely separate menu from your start bar, and allow you to access some very quick features. So your desktop, quickly shut down or sign in and out your PC, run, search, file explorer, control panel, task manager, command prompt and admin. This is very useful. I'm always using command prompt, especially for ipconfig and ipconfig resets and stuff like that. To launch it in admin really quickly is very useful, so that's a great little feature Windows popped in there, is to open command prompt straight away in administrator. So that's very good. Obviously normal command prompts there as well, so you've got computer manager, disk management, network connections, device manager, system, event viewer, which is a nice little feature again, event viewer. a lot of people, a lot of power users, well, a lot of technical people like to be able to look at Event View in case something's gone wrong. Power options, programs and features. So definitely programs and features is going to be something you're going to want to take a look at. No, it's not. My bad, guys. Sorry. Default programs is going to be something you're definitely going to want to take a look at. You're going to want to set your default programs. This can be done many different ways. The best way to do it is going into settings in the bottom right hand corner here. So if you click on this little icon, which opens up your Action Center, which is another cool little feature inside Windows. All your applications, notifications, Facebook, Twitter, emails, if you've got it set up, will all appear in here. So I've got mine currently set to quiet hours. That's because I'm recording. I don't want to be disturbed. If I turn this off, I'll probably get a few notifications come through in the next few minutes, but we're going to ignore that and turn that back on. Right, so this is the main settings. There's two settings tab. You can still get your normal control panel, which is the best place to open that is through right clicking on the Windows and going to control panel. So you've still got your normal control panel where you can look at certain features. They have moved a lot of stuff around. For example, Windows Update has moved. It's no longer in this area at all. It's not even under security and maintenance, as you can see. There's nothing there. Recovery and everything's still in the same place. Updates has moved into the new settings tab, which is located down here. Open the Action Center, sorry. Open all the settings, which is this one, and it opens this. Windows Updates has moved to here. This is Windows Updates. Windows Defender's in here as well. This will all be turned on automatically when you start up. Your backup section. So this is if you want to go back to Windows 7. If you've installed from Windows 7 to Windows 10 or Windows 8 or 8.1, this is where you can go back to your previous Windows install. Windows 7 or Windows 8 can go back through here. Your recovery area, this is basically restoring Windows 10 back to factory standard when you first installed it, resetting your PC, and blah blah. Activation, Windows will be activated straight away if you've upgraded from Windows 7 and your 7 or 8.1 or 8 is genuine. Windows 10 will activate automatically. You won't have to worry about this. If, however, you have upgraded from Windows 7 to Windows 10 with a disk, so you've actually completely blanked off Windows 7 and reinstalled from scratch, you will need to activate your Windows 10 with a product key. Your Windows 7 product key should activate it if you downloaded the right product from the Microsoft Store. For developers, we're going to ignore this. We don't really need this. We don't really look at that. I'm not really a developer. So that's all that. So personalization, let's take a look in here. So this is where we can change quite a lot of stuff. We can change the background to like a slideshow, even if we wanted to, of all our pictures rolling through. I just have mine set to my Nvidia logo. We can also change the colours of the way all this works. So all my icons are blue in here at the moment, as you can see. Everything's blue except for Firefox. Origin's got this up there, they've got their own little colours they use, but I can change that just by clicking on one of these, and boom, there we go. We have changed the colour. I actually quite like that red. That's quite a nice red. Might keep that. The blue does match better though. The blue does match better. We'll keep the blue. So your lock screen can be found here as well, so you can set up your lock screen. You can set up apps as well in your lock screen as well to be displayed, which is a bit strange. I don't know why you want to do that. Your themes are all here still. Like I said, some of the themes are missing in this section. Like I said, your standard Windows themes there, Windows 10, Flowers, high contrast themes are all in, thank God. But there is one old default theme missing. So that's everything in there. Your desktop icon settings can all be found in the same place again. Right click personalisation, same place as in here. The start screen is entirely customisable, whereas The old start menu wasn't so customisable. Okay, you got your most used apps, and you recently added stuff which is really useful. And you got this new feature where you can literally pin and choose where you want your apps to be. So as you just saw there, I've just moved Overwolf from the recently installed into an app and made the tile smaller, because that is just ridiculous. That's okay if it's really good if you're blind, you know what I mean? Excellent if you're blind, amazing, but I'm not, so nice small icons for me, which is really nice. There are some more icons in here standard, but I've deleted them out because I don't use them. There's a lot of apps as well inside Microsoft that you don't really need, especially as Power Gamer users. We don't really need them, but I'll show you how to disable some of these features right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to exit out some of this. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to click Start. We're going to search for services. Once we've searched for services, we're going to press Enter and open it up. And here we have a list of services that Windows is currently running, not running, or yada yada yada. So as you can see, the stats in this column here, what's running, what's not. So we've put them at the top, what's running. There you go. You can see. We're going to put these in name order just to make it a little bit easier, and we're just going to go through a couple of these which I have disabled and do not use. So for a start, WAP push message routing service. This is Windows 10's version of a... the name's just gone out of my head. Keylogger. This is Windows 10's version of a keylogger. You don't need that. So what we're going to do, we're going to click it, click properties, and we're going to disable it, and we're going to ignore that and click apply. I've changed these back, so you guys, if you see settings that are changed that look different to yours, don't worry, it's because some of these I've already changed myself, because I don't need them. So we're going to disable that. We don't want Windows keylogger, we don't need it. Go away, we don't want Windows listening in on stuff. A lot of stuff you'll see in here is set to manual already. That's because obviously I've been through it, like I said. So we're going to scroll down a little bit more to where the first Hyper-V comes up, which is just here. So what we're going to do here is, as you can see, all mine are set to manual trigger start. Now this is what I just showed you, the new desktops. That is your Hyper-V settings and stuff like that. You need Hyper-V enabled, so these are all set to manual. If you don't use stuff like that, you can go ahead and just right click properties and just disable them all if you really want to. I'm not going to disable mine because I do occasionally use them and again. Or if you're not too sure and you don't want to disable, you can just set them to manual and then apply that setting, and then manual trigger start, which is basically whenever you go to use it, it triggers in and it starts letting the machine use the Hyper-V settings. So you can either set them to manual or disable. I've set all mine to manual, as you can see. Every single one of them there, from there to there, is set to manual. I don't recommend doing this. It's entirely up to you guys if you want to do it. It does make your... you might get a bit more performance out of your computer though by doing it. That's all I've really disabled inside here. There's nothing else really. Oh, the Xbox Live stuff I disabled as well because I don't really use Xbox Live anymore. What else did I say? There's something else. I know there's something else. I'm forgetting something. No, I don't think there is. I think that is everything that I disabled in here. Yeah. That is pretty much everything I disabled in here. So your Hyper-V settings, DM WAP push SVC, sorry, disable that. Don't need a keylogger. Your Hyper-V settings, obviously, if you want to, you're more than welcome to disable them. Obviously, when you go to use Hyper-V, though, they won't work, so you have to turn them back on again. And that's about it, guys, really. It's all you really need to disable inside here. Nothing else really needs fiddling about with. So that's one little thing you might want to sort out inside your Windows 10 when you first install it. This video is getting longer and longer, guys. I'm sorry. was just trying to think if there's any other little things I need to cover. Other than the fact it took Microsoft 30 years to finally make a fucking decent operating system. You see Cortana's enabled itself. Surprise, surprise. You see it now. It's not being used. It's fine. I'm just trying to think, guys. If there's anything else I'm missing here, what you might really want to know. There's nothing coming off the top of my head at the moment. I think we've pretty much covered everything. Your updates, your personalisation, your email accounts you might want to set up. Obviously it might be a good idea, especially if you're using as an office user, to set your email accounts up. You've got the work access, so you can authorise your computer at work to be accessed from home. You'd probably have to talk to administrators at your workplace about that. I think that's about it. Oh yes, default apps, of course. I completely missed out your default apps. I spoke about it for a minute, and then I skipped ahead to something else. Your default apps. Very sorry. Right. So to get into the default apps, what you need to do is close all your crap on your desktop. Well, you don't have to, but okay. You need to open the Action Center and click on All Settings. And once you're in All Settings, click on System, Display Notifications, Apps, and Power. And once we're in here, we need to look through this list. So you won't have 3 monitors like mine. Ignore that. If you do have 3 monitors like mine, cool. What you need to do, notifications and actions. So a lot of this stuff I disable because I don't need it. Show me tips about Windows. Don't really need it. A lot of us know how to use Windows already. Show app notifications I like to leave on because it displays notifications inside here when quiet hours is turned off. Inside here it will show me a notification if an app's trying to install, or if Firefox has just got a message from Facebook, then that allows that to post in this little area up here. Maybe if I leave it off, something might come through in a minute to show you. Show notifications on lock screen I have disabled because I don't want people seeing anything when I've got my computer set to lock. Although I don't ever lock my computer because I've got no password protection on mine, because it's only me and my family here. That's that. Apps and features. This is where I installed a lot of stuff inside here. Mainly because I don't need it. Literally just do not need it at all. So inside here you'll see a lot of stuff that I haven't got compared to yours. So a lot of stuff down towards the bottom here. Some stuff can't be uninstalled, unfortunately, like OneNote can't be uninstalled. People cannot be uninstalled. Phone cannot be uninstalled. Photos cannot be uninstalled. There's certain things that can't be uninstalled, like the store. You can't uninstall the store. Pretty self-explanatory, really. But weather, you can't install weather either. You can't install the Xbox thing. But inside here, there's apps called Money. There's other Office apps you might not need. So I recommend taking them out just to give yourself a little bit more space on your Windows drive, because obviously when Windows tries to load, it tries to load all of this extra stuff on top of itself as well. So there might be a few things you might want to get rid of. Alarm clocks, unfortunately, you can't uninstall either. Because it's the alarm and the clock, so it's actually a clock down here as well, which is really annoying. If it was alarms and a clock should be separate, really, but never mind, that's not a problem. You can't install the calculator for standard reasons. Cameras, can't uninstall them either, but there's a lot of stuff in here you can uninstall. Obviously I've gone through mine and uninstalled it, so what you should do is go through yours very slowly with mine and just compare stuff. If you see something that I've got that you haven't got, might be worth downloading it, obviously, unless it's actually a game or something like that, then you won't need it. But if you look where Microsoft Money would be, which is about here, actually no, it's a bit lower than that, about here, you'll see Money's not there on mine. It should be probably between here and here. It's not. You might want to install that. It's not really needed. Microsoft Wi-Fi. There we go. Microsoft Wi-Fi Corporation. My computer doesn't even have Wi-Fi. Like, I'm not even joking. My computer does not have wireless. It's not got it on board. It's not got it off board. It's got a network card in it. That's gigabit. So technically, I don't really need that. So I can uninstall this. Right, and it's gone. There's no need for it at all. So there's a couple of things in that, and it's gone. Simple as. Microsoft Wi-Fi, no need for it, gone. So that's that. So just scroll through that, make sure you got similar looking to me, obviously. It won't look completely the same, but make sure you just uninstall some stuff you don't need. I mean, just some standard apps really you just might not want at all. I found quite a few in there I didn't want, so I got rid of a lot of them, so just check them out. Multitasking, this is quite useful, this, obviously for snapping your windows to areas that you want to snap them to, so like that, or snapping side by side, which is probably not going to work now for me. No, it's not, is it? It's not going to work. What is the matter? Snapping is not working very well today. I don't know why. It was working beautifully yesterday. I bet it works on the other screens. It works on the other screens perfectly, but it's not showing me on the main screen that I use the most. Brilliant. Gotta love Windows 10 sometimes. So yeah, it is useful. It does work. Trust me. I don't know why it's not working for me at the moment. Maybe some stuff I'm using can't be snapped properly. I haven't got a lot of other apps open, so I can't really. Nah. And the other thing, I do have other monitor accessories installed. I have Ultramon just here installed, which takes care of a lot of proportioning and swapping apps around and stuff. Like, as you see, I just made my one of my apps stretch across all three of my monitors. That little button there makes this app stretch across all three monitors, and this one allows me to switch monitors quickly without having to just drag and drop. I can just go bang, I want it on 2 and it swaps to 2, or bang, I want it on 1 and it's back to 1 again. Quite useful. Ultramon, I recommend it, especially if you're running several screens or multiple monitors. So, yeah, snapping, you can leave all this stuff on, it's quite useful. Virtual desktops, you want this only on the task desktop you're using. Pressing Alt-Tab only shows what apps are open, or you can set it to all desktops. So, if I open another desktop with stick, GPU-Z and CPU-Z on it, now when I Alt-Tab, it shows me every monitor that's appearing, not just the main monitor that I'm using, not just monitor 1, desktop 1, it's showing me every single desktop what's running. So just leave them there like that, so we can swap between the two. Tell you what, swap back, so there you go, you can see on this desktop I'm running a few little things here and here, and then on this desktop I'm running everything else. So you can see power up, GPU-Z and CPU-Z are there, but they're not on this actual screen at all. So it's a very useful little app there. Let's just close them off so we don't swap them back to this monitor. We don't need them, so that's another little thing you might want to check out. Tablet mode. This is for anyone using a tablet, basically, or the Surface Pro, anything like that. The little laptops that come apart from their keyboards and stuff. If you're using that, there's also a quick route to this as well, which is down here in tablet mode. I can't enable tablet mode at all because this is a desktop computer. It doesn't let me do it. You can check that. Also, my tablet mode is turned off because it's not a tablet. So if you guys have got a tablet, don't turn that off. If you guys haven't got a tablet or a laptop with a detachable keypad to turn your laptop into a tablet, leave it off. If you have got it, leave it on. Power, so just basically when you turn off your monitors, normal stuff, Your storage, I do like this. This is very useful. This is really spread out. Shows you where all your stuff's mainly installed. So this takes me straight through. It is very useful. Basic, very, very, very useful. Once it figures out where everything is, it can take a while sometimes. Obviously, it's just searching the whole entire C drive now to find out what stuff is what, where is what, and how much of it is there. So that's quite a useful feature. You can also set default locations for stuff, so new apps will automatically be saved on my desktop C drive. I might not want that. I might want them saved to my apps drive, so I can just swap them straight over. Same with your documents, you can do that too. New music, new pictures and new videos can all be swapped around where you want them to save. Your offline maps, I don't use this, I disable it. It's another feature I disable. Don't really use maps a lot, so don't really need it. So you guys can disable that as well if you want. You can disable that here and here. You must disable both of them, otherwise it won't work. Your default apps, this is definitely something you want to definitely check out, especially if you don't like using Internet Explorer or Microsoft's new Edge browser, which is okay, but there's a few things missing out of it, to my knowledge. I don't know if they've been put in yet. We'll check that out in a sec. No, you won't, because it's not minimising. Right, so the default apps, you just click on these and you can change them to what you need them to be. Obviously maps is set to maps, because it is. My music player, I use Fubar 2000. It's probably one of the most lightweight music players, which is free at the moment. I've got other ones installed like VLC as well, which VLC is quite lightweight, but it's not lightweight as Fubar. Fubar is definitely the most lightest and least resourceful hungry music player around at the moment that I know of. If you guys know any more, please leave in the comments. I love new software. I love playing around with new software. So photo viewer, just photos. There is some people have the option to use the Windows 7 old photo viewer. I do not have this option, unfortunately, so I've just left mine to recommended. VLC player for your videos, and your web browser, I have Firefox installed. As you can see, Edge is installed. It is there, but it doesn't come up for me to use as a default because I've taken it out. I don't want it to appear. There's no need for it. So, and you can do that with the set app defaults by app. You can take it out in there. I'll have to show you that on another video because we're really cutting this one long now. This has been 32 minutes, guys. So what, in conclusion, let's quickly have a look at Edge browser. This is the new internet browser, basically the new web browser by Microsoft. It's basically to overrule Internet Explorer 10, 11, 12, whatever they're on at the moment. I think it's 10, IE 10, IE 11, something like that, somewhere around that area. But basically it's to rule that out, it's to get rid of that completely and stop using that. So don't get me wrong, it's a good browser, it works, it finds stuff, it's not too useful, it's not very recent, as you can see. Like Firefox is definitely using a lot more in terms of memory and CPU power. It's using 13 threads, or 13%, whatever that is, of the processor, whereas Edge is using nothing. Do you know what I mean? It's there. Okay, it appears 3 times where Firefox only appears once, but it's a lot more lighter weight. So that's definitely something some people might want to consider. It's a lightweight browser, which is good. But there are some things missing inside here. For example, if we just go to, the best thing to go to is YouTube probably. If we just go to images, I don't know if they've changed this. They have. They've added save target link now. This was not here before. A lot of this actually wasn't here before. All you had was open link in new tab, open new window, copy link, and select the one copy. So they've added the inspect element, they've added a couple of other little bits by the looks of it. A lot of stuff was missing off of this when I first used it. they've added it back in. It's incredibly slow browser though, as you can see. It's just taken like 10 minutes to open a debug console. If I do that in Firefox, that'll open straight away. Pretty much. No, it's going to lag a little bit in Firefox and all today. And it's opened a lot quicker than what that did. So that's in fact we're just going to get rid of Firefox for a minute. Okay, let's get rid of the console and all on this. We don't need that. So yeah, internet Edge browser. It's pretty good. It's okay. I don't use it personally myself. As you can see, I've got no like favourite bars or anything inside, so you can tell I really don't use it. But it's not too sad. There's probably some settings in here you might want to disable as well, especially stuff that allows Microsoft to view what you're looking at. That's quite cool. Extra large reading size. That's very useful. I think I'd have mine set to small, but I don't use this. So right, that is everything, guys. Really, there's not much else I can really run through. In the way of performance-wise, upgrading from 7 to 10 is a huge increase in performance for most gamers. For most, I say most because obviously sometimes people have problems. For example, I'll show you a problem I have with my Windows 10. It's inside my performance settings. As you can see, I've got 4 GB of RAM on this system that I use, but only 2.7 available. This because it decided it wants to reserve 1.3 gigs for other stuff. But if I've got 2 graphics cards, or I've got a separate PC I use to render with. If you guys look at my system setup, you'll see I use 2 computers, one to game on, one to record with. So it doesn't really bother me how much memory this has, as long as it will play a game, which it does. And the reason it's using a lot of memory at the moment is because there's quite a few apps open. Firefox is open with several tabs in my other monitor, which you guys can't see. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 8 tabs open in my other browser. So that is one reason why this is running a little bit high today, but it's normal for me. So yeah, that is one problem I have. This is because of the graphics card. I can take my 750, my EVGA 750 Ti out and put in a GT430, and this disappears from 1.3 gig to 1.5 megabytes. It's the graphics card that's reserving it. It's the board can't handle how fast my graphics card can handle graphics, so it needs to hardware reserve a little bit of RAM so the graphics card can talk to the RAM and talk to the CPU a bit easier. Pretty self-explanatory. Some people won't have this problem, some people might, depending on how much RAM you have in your system. I have a 4 gig system, I have 2 4 gig systems, both have 4 gig of RAM in, and both have 3 to 4 gig usable. So this is just under 3 gig, so it's usable and it works. We're not complaining. The only other thing is, for some reason, I have the world's most fastest RAM. 50,410 megahertz RAM. I think even Crucial and Kingston would be impressed with their RAM speeds. I don't know any manufacturer of RAM that makes RAM of that megahertz speed. If you guys do, please leave it in the comments, because I don't. This is not, my RAM is not 50,000 megahertz, I promise you. It's around 800, I think, 880 or something like that. It's overclocked, whatever. But it works. So yeah, that's one problem you guys might have too, is some stuff like that. Other than that, everything else. This looks like this when you first load in. So your default graph. If you want to change that, you right click on it, change graph, and set to logical processors, and you can see how many processors you have, which I have 4 CPU cores rather, and you can see what they're all doing a little bit easier. And they've added this times info thing plus your Ethernet. I think we have reached the end of this video now, guys. There's not much else I can tell you about Windows 10 that you probably don't already know already. I'm just thinking, double checking. Yeah, no, that is it, guys. Okay, so if you're going to upgrade to Windows 10, Windows 7 and Windows 10. If you're going to upgrade from Windows 7 to Windows 10, do it. I recommend it. It is really good. It's a big improvement. I get at least 15 to 30 more FPS in game, so it's definitely worth doing. If you're upgrading from 8 to 10, still do it. If you're upgrading from 8.1 to 10, however, though, it's a funny decision because 8.1 was really good. 8.1 fixed a lot of the problems that they had in 8 originally. It's still a good operating system. I still know a few people that use it. It could still be viable, so don't upgrade just yet. Maybe hang on for a little while. Or make sure you do it before the free period runs out, obviously, if you can. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give us a like if you like it, dislike if you dislike it. I'm sorry it's been a 40-minute video, but I really wanted to get a good review down. So yeah, give a thumbs up if you like, thumbs down if you dislike, and subscribe if you want to see some more content, guys.